The side view mirrors on an F-150 pickup truck have more aerodynamic drag than the whole Aptera.
Hey, welcome to the video, and today we are talking about Aptera, the never charge car. Sandy Munro from Munro and Associates is conducting the interview with the two founders. Sandy is a renowned auto engineer and lean design specialist whom the founders have hired to help advise them through the manufacturing process. We'll watch some of the key parts together and I'll give some of my thoughts. I highly recommend you watch through the whole video if you're interested in learning more, and I'll link it down in the description box below.
Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about and talking to Aptera. And we're going to be talking to Chris and Steve, the two guys that basically are running the show over there.
So the idea of not having to charge for the most part is what our efficiency enables us to do. Just parking in the parking lot, wherever you're shopping or work or what have you. San Diego, you could get 30, 40 miles per day of electricity. For most people, especially during the summertime, they're not going to have to charge at all.
Well, the other thing you should mention too is that even if you do need a charge, you can run it on 110.
Yeah, 150 miles overnight actually on the same.
Oh, 150.
On the same outlet that you would charge your cell phone on, you can charge, you know, if you have a 20 amp, 110 volt outlet, you can get 200 miles overnight, and most people have 15 amp circuits, so.
This is really key, that it's very, very easy for people to charge. You don't need to install any special equipment. You don't need to do any type of special wiring. You can just plug it into a regular outlet and be ready to go up to 150 miles overnight. This next part, they are talking about their upcoming manufacturing facilities.
It just happened a few minutes ago.
Yeah, we signed a lease on a new facility down in a place called Sorrento Valley in San Diego. But it's our new production development center, and I think it will be a wonderful new home for Aptera. Every part of this vehicle, the four main structural parts of the tub, are all human positionable. They all key together like Legos, and you just bond them together.
That's something cool in that they are trying to do something different from other manufacturers that are actually trying to automate as much as they can. They are approaching it to specifically make it more modular and variable. And they also mention having variable break-even points, meaning that at different points of production, they could be able to make a profit or break even. They seem to want to stay lean and flexible, especially at this early stage in production.
Give us like a little tour of the vehicle.
If you look, the interior is very different than the old Aptera. In fact, it's completely rethought. It's much simpler. The HVAC is a unique design. The solar that you can see is also on top of the IP, on top of the dash. And there's a very large center screen in the middle to show you our IVI system with all of our maps and other stuff like that.
So far, it reminds me a lot of Tesla, a very clean, simple design with one big screen, and that's not a bad thing.
Moving back, we've got something unique here that's called the Glow-Go. It's a glowing logo, and when the lights are turned on the vehicle, this illuminates. We've got this really large back latch, back deck lid that when you open up, you can fit in skis. I think you could fit in 8, maybe 9 foot 2x4s.
Number one, the Glow-Go I think is pretty cool. Sandy actually also seems to like it too. Technically, this car is a motorcycle because it has 3 wheels, but being able to fit something as large as skis, which means maybe it could even fit snowboards, makes it more of a utility type vehicle, definitely straying far away from that criticism that it's actually just a flimsy 2-wheeled car. Not if it can carry this type of cargo.
We've got the charge port behind here that you've seen. And again, solar cells on just about every square inch where we can put them. Coming back to the driver's side, what most people ask about is the doors themselves, so it's a butterfly design. It pivots in 2 places, actually pivots in 1 place. It's hinged on the bottom right there. We've got a half roll down window, so you can go to in and out, Taco Bell, whatever your pleasure is, and get your food.
Butterfly design, very cool. It does seem to go a little bit further out than I like, but that just could be the angle I'm seeing it at.
Simple stalks left and right that are all CAN bus control or CAN bus actuated, along with the switches on the steering wheel. Everything is connected to the CAN bus, and so computer system reads those messages and then actuates whatever it has to do.
Cool feature on the door too is obviously the side view cameras. So very cool to get side visibility. And, you know, it's not a traditional mirror. It's obviously a display screen inside the vehicle.
I like it when they do something that you don't really expect to have. And once we have that option, we can decide if it needs any adjustments, if it was a great idea, or maybe it was a bad idea. But from first glance, this is one of those technologies that might be a little bit outdated and be due for a change.
Some beautiful headlights that have high and low beams, keeps the roads illuminated quite nicely. And obviously the solar hood, which it doesn't get much prettier than that solar right there. Steve was talking about the user interface screen. We really tried to show you ways that you can save energy while you drive. So, you know, clicking up top here, you can turn the fan off to add range and stuff like that. But it'll also show you navigation-wise how far you can go. And
Aptera is known, or they are trying to market themselves as the most efficient vehicle in the world. It would make sense that on their interface, on their software, they are trying to gamify how much you can actually save energy, and everything on the software should reflect marginal ways to save energy. I think that's a very good idea.
Glow logo or glow, how do you say that?
Logo.
I like little things like that that kind of like punch it up. I've never been a fan of rear view mirrors ever, so having those disappear makes a lot of sense as well. I'm guessing that your biggest problem is going to be how many are you going to be able to push out the door and how fast you're going to make that happen. That's a good problem to have.
A good problem to have, exactly.
Their pre-orders so far are phenomenal. They definitely have a lot of high demand, but it's going to come down to how many people keep their pre-orders and if they can fulfill the specs that they promised, and if they could push out the number of production vehicles that they've also promised, then we can gauge better how much demand actually is.
Side view mirrors on an F-150 pickup truck have more aerodynamic drag than the whole Aptera.
That is brutal. I'm not sure of the exact math or whether that's true or not, but I can believe it. Aptera is all about efficiency. I don't think that was in Ford's main mission statement.
You'll notice that most windows have a ledge, in from the door that's, twice as big as this. And if the glass rolls all the way up to the top, you've got a big lip up here that's going to catch the air. But by moving this lip down and by smoothing this transition out a lot, we have a much, much more aerodynamic window set in our door, and that's all made possible by the modern computational fluid dynamics tools that we have to work with.
When you are trying to do something, again, like the most efficient car in the world, it's not enough just to perfect an overall rough design. You have to be on the granular level of every single design flaw or design feature and make sure you are capturing maximum efficiency, and that attention to detail is a good sign.
Our brand is about how does efficiency deliver freedom? Freedom to drive far, freedom to not have to charge in every night.
The cooling is a great example of that. Most vehicles today have big grills that draw in air through radiators and then expunge the air somewhere else in the vehicle. That's just unacceptable from an aerodynamics, first principles point of view.
Do you know who else talked about first principles? Elon Musk. Does that mean that they will be the next Elon Musk? Absolutely not. But at least they are using a philosophy of thinking that has a track record of success.
We've adopted a skin cooling method that really we make the surface of the vehicle the radiator. So as air travels over the vehicle at speed or at rest, that's how we get heat out of the vehicles.
How people can get in on this car. I mean, you've got a new round of funding that might be coming up here shortly. You want to talk about that a little bit?
A lot of people have asked me about this, and here is your answer. There is another round of funding coming up, so please stay tuned for more info.
We're opening up a new crowdfunding here in probably late February of next year.
And with that, I'd like to maybe close it off and say thank you so much for giving us a quick tour of the vehicle, and wish you all the best. You probably don't really need it because I think your vehicle is really hot, especially the black one there.
Thanks, Andy.
That's it. If that was helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. Did you guys reserve your Aptera already? Does them working with Sandy Munro give you more confidence? It certainly gives me more confidence because I trust Sandy. This is Green Knight Trading, where Squires become knights. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you soon.